Welcome to Breaking News to Trading Moves. We're here to connect a key headline to the market moves that follow, showing you the perceived winners and losers.
And today we are looking at a biotech approval. It's in one of the highest risk areas of medicine stem cell transplantation.
And this story goes well beyond just one company's stock.
Oh yeah, we're going to touch on everything from specialty logistics and incumbent drug franchises all the way to the managed care system itself.
So let's get right into the headline. We're talking about the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, the FDA.
Right, and a big approval for a company called Omeros. Their drug is Yartemlea.
And this one is targeting something, well, something pretty severe. It's called transplant-associated thrombotic microangiopathy.
Or TA-TMA for short, thankfully.
Definitely, for short. And our job today is to explain what this approval means, why this rare condition is so dangerous, why the Omeros stock, that's ticker Omera, jumped on the news.
And then we'll trace how this new drug creates, cost burdens and revenue opportunities all the way through the healthcare supply chain. We want you to see the full picture here.
Okay, let's start with the event itself. Omeros gets this approval for Yartemlea. The generic name is narsoplimab-wuug.
Right, and it's for adults and also for kids aged 2 and up who have TA-TMA.
And the key detail here is that this is the first.
The first ever. This is the first treatment the FDA has ever greenlit specifically for this condition. For a smaller biotech like Omeros, this is the culmination of years of trials and regulatory hurdles.
And that removal of risk is everything for a smaller company.
It is. The market reacted instantly. You saw Omeros shares rise pretty sharply.
But to really get the financial side, you have to understand the medical need. So what is TA-TMA? Why is it so feared in transplant centers?
It's a devastating complication. It can happen after a stem cell transplant, which, is a procedure used to treat cancers like leukemia.
So the transplant is life-saving, but then this can happen.
Exactly. Weeks or months later. And it has a very high mortality rate. The issue is basically widespread damage to the lining of the smallest blood vessels.
The microvasculature.
Right. And that damage causes tiny clots to form all over the body. These clots block blood flow. They starve the organs of oxygen.
And they're especially hard on which organs?
The kidneys. They're particularly vulnerable. So without a good intervention, you get organ failure, and the situation becomes life-threatening very quickly.
Okay, so a very high medical need. What's the patient population look like? Is this common?
It's a rare complication, but the transplants themselves are fairly common. So you're looking at a few thousand patients a year in the U.S.
But the drug price is likely to be very high.
Extremely high. It's a high acuity life or death situation with no other options. That's the profile for a specialty drug that can command, hundreds of thousands of dollars for a course of treatment.
And that potential revenue is what drove that stock reaction for Omer.
That's it.
So before Yartemlea, what were doctors doing?
They were in a tough spot. They had to rely on drugs approved for other sort of similar conditions.
Off-label use.
Right. The main one was a drug from AstraZeneca called Soliris, or eculizumab. It's approved for a condition that shares some biology with TA-TMA, but it wasn't a perfect fit.
It's like using a tool that kind of works, but wasn't made for the job.
That's a great way to put it. So when you get a dedicated on-label therapy, it changes everything.
How so?
It just creates certainty. Hospitals and doctors gain confidence. Treatment guidelines change. And maybe most importantly, the whole dynamic for insurance reimbursement is altered.
Okay, that gives us the context we need. Let's move on to the market flow and start with the clear winners from this news.
And the most obvious, of course, is the direct FDA approval winner.
Which is Omeros, ticker OMR.
They own the drug, so they're the top beneficiary. The approval just takes years of regulatory risk off the table.
And now they can focus on the launch.
Yep. The risk shifts from regulatory to commercial. They're looking at a January 2026 launch, so now it's all about execution, manufacturing, and building out that specialty sales force.
And we should probably also keep an eye on ANNX in this space.
Right, as another company that could benefit from just the general excitement in treating these kinds of complications.
Okay, so beyond the drug itself, who else wins?
Well, you have to look at the whole ecosystem. Let's talk about the stem cell transplant and cell therapy logistics space.
And the main company here is CYRX.
That's it. So CYRX provides services like biopreservation and cold chain logistics for the cell products used in these transplants.
So the logic is, if the procedure becomes safer because you can treat a deadly complication,
then confidence in the entire procedure goes up.
and that could support higher transplant volumes over time.
Exactly. Better management of a complication like TA-TMA improves the whole risk profile. More volume means more business for the companies like CYRX that handle those fragile cells before the patient ever gets them.
Is that a strong enough connection to really affect a company like CYRX?
In the specialty world, yes. These companies are very closely tied to procedure volume. So when you add this success to other advancements, it does lift the whole ecosystem. That's why you'd also watch BLFS in this sector.
Makes sense. Okay, winner number 3, the actual delivery of the drug.
Right. Specialty drug distribution and infusion delivery.
And here we're talking about MCK.
McKesson. They're a giant in distribution, but this is a specific type of business for them.
Why does one new drug move the needle for a company that big?
Because Yartemlea is a specialty biologic. It's not a pill from a local pharmacy. It's a complex, high-cost drug that needs special handling, maybe refrigeration and infusion at a clinic.
So it's a white glove service kind of product?
That's it. It requires these specialty distribution channels. And distributors like MCK don't just move the product. They provide patient services, help with insurance forms, prior authorizations.
So they get revenue from the drug volume, but also from the services wrapped around it.
And those are high-margin services. It's not just moving a box. It's managing the whole complicated process. And you'd watch COR in this space as well.
Okay, that covers the beneficiaries. But a new, expensive therapy always creates pressure points elsewhere. Let's talk about the losers.
First up is the off-label incumbent franchise.
The company that was there before.
Right, and that's AstraZeneca, ticker AZN.
Because of their drug, Soliris.
Exactly. Soliris was the off-label standard. Now, a new on-label option is almost certainly going to eat into that use over time.
How much does losing this little slice of the market matter to a company as large as AstraZeneca?
Well, it's not just about this one indication, it's the timing. Soliris is a mature drug that's already facing its patent cliff.
So it's facing competition from biosimilars.
Right. Cheaper, generic-like versions are coming for its main, much larger uses. So losing the TA-TMA patients, even if it's a small group, just accelerates that revenue decline. They're getting squeezed on all sides.
And that's why we'd also track AMGN, another company with big biologic franchises that face similar dynamics.
Precisely. Now let's move to the ones who have to pay the bill.
Managed care and the pharmacy benefit managers, or PBMs. The lead company here is UNH.
United Health Group. For them, a new specialty therapy that costs hundreds of thousands of dollars per patient. Well, that means their total drug spending is going up.
And they can't just say no. It's a life-saving on-label drug.
They can't. So what do? They tighten the administrative controls. This means more work on utilization management and prior authorizations.
Explain utilization management.
It's the process payers use to make sure the right patient is getting the right drug at the right time. Basically, they have to verify the medical necessity for every single claim to prevent misuse.
So even if they approve it, which they have to, it costs them more in administrative work just to manage the process.
Right. That friction and that cost is real for them. And that pressure applies to other big players like CVS, too.
All right, there's one last one on our list. It's a bit of a niche headwind.
A very niche one. We're talking about dialysis providers.
So companies like DVA, DaVita.
Correct. This really shows how interconnected all of this is.
So walk me through it. A drug for a transplant complication affecting a dialysis provider.
Okay, so we said that TA-TMA is really damaging to the kidneys. It can lead to kidney failure.
And dialysis providers treat patients with kidney failure.
Exactly. So the thinking is, if Yartemlea is really effective at preventing that severe end-stage kidney damage, then over time, you'll have a marginal reduction in the need for dialysis services, specifically from this small patient population.
Wow. So you're looking at market effects based on the possibility of fewer damaged kidneys down the road?
It's a perfect example of how the healthcare economy works. Success in treating an upstream problem reduces the downstream burden. Now, it's probably a small effect for a company the size of DVA.
But the direction is what traders will debate.
That's it. And the same logic would apply to FMS.
This has been a great way to trace the value from a single news item. So to bring it all together for you, we started with Omeros, ticker OMR, getting that first-in-class therapy approved.
And we follow that value to the logistics companies like CYRX and the specialty distributors like MCK, who benefit from the whole system running more smoothly.
And on the other side, we saw the cost pressure land on managed care companies like UNH and the competitive pressure on the incumbent, AstraZeneca, ticker AZN.
This approval is, it's a real win for patients, but it also perfectly lays out the economic tension in medicine today. You have a proven life-saving therapy for a very rare disease.
So as you think about all these moves, here's a final concept for you to consider. How will the need for more of these expensive, life-saving therapies shape the future of insurance policies for rare diseases, especially with all the pressure on managed care costs?
That is a dynamic that is only going to become more pronounced in the years ahead. Thanks for joining us for Breaking News to Trading Moves.
And a mandatory note for you. This discussion is purely the opinion of the author. It is not financial advice or a recommendation to buy or sell any security. You should always do your own research.